Hey, what's going on, investors? Welcome to another video, and today we are going to go ahead and talk about DraftKings stock, ticker symbol DKNG. And first of all, I just want to say that I've gotten a few comments from some of you guys, including some of my own friends and family, who said that the music was too loud and that the channel would probably be better if I ditched the music. So I did go ahead and do that. So thank you guys so much for the feedback. If you have any other feedback or ideas or how I can make the channel better for you, please feel free to comment on every video. I take no offense to anything. I just want this channel to grow and give you all the best experience and knowledge regarding stocks possible. And so let's just go ahead and get right into everything. So you all know I am a huge fan of DraftKings. And so we're going to go ahead and get into this update. So the Florida sports online betting measure that was backed by both DraftKings and FanDuel will not make the 2022 ballot. And as most of you know, yes, this is a blow to DraftKings, as their next shot at a ballot measure actually wouldn't be until 2024. Now, the failed Florida online sports betting initiative had 477,000 verified signatures as of Friday afternoon, just over half the requirement to qualify for the 2022 ballot a few days ahead of the February 1st deadline. And DraftKings and FanDuel both actually contributed roughly $37 million to the campaign. So it's definitely a blow to both companies, the fact that it did not pass. And yeah, so this is definitely a huge blow to DraftKings and also Floridians. I think the consumers who really want to sports bet in Florida, this is not good for them either. You know, let's remember now that Florida is one of the oldest states. You know, a lot of old people live there. And what do old and middle-aged people do? They like to gamble their money. You know, just go to any casino in your area and you'll notice that it's mostly old people. I mean, I go to casinos out here sometimes over in Illinois where I live, and every time I go there, there's nothing but old and middle-aged people. That's just the demographic that likes to bet. That's just how it goes. And so that's definitely a blow to DraftKings. But on a positive note, in other news, DraftKings mobile sportsbook just recently launched in Atlanta. I'm sorry, I said Atlanta. Just recently launched in Louisiana. And that is really good because it shows us that the business continues to grow. As most of you know, they just recently launched in New York, and now they are live in Louisiana. And that is just awesome because, as I told you guys numerous times, you know, the key for DraftKings has nothing to do with the business itself. We already know that DraftKings is a phenomenal business. It is a great business. They know how to attract customers. They have a very easy to use app. And they have all these different promotions and cool little games and things like that on their app that keeps attracting customers and also gets customers to stay. So we already know that DraftKings is a phenomenal company. Now, the problem and the hurdle for us going forward is going to be regulation and whether a lot of these states begin to legalize sports betting or not, which I already told you guys I think they will, because I remember when Illinois did not have sports betting legalized, but the consumer wanted it. And the states recognized how much money they could make in profits from the taxes that they would get from sports betting. So like I said, it's just a no-brainer here. You legalize sports betting, you let America be a free country, you let people decide to do what they want to do, and you go ahead and take the tax revenue. That's good for your state. You want to make more money as a state government, not lose more money or not take advantage of opportunities to take in more tax dollars. And one thing about Illinois, they will take advantage of those tax dollars. That's one thing Illinois is good at. They find ways to get things done so they can get that tax money. That's how this state works. So hopefully Florida gets on board eventually. 2024 is not that bad of a time to wait, only because that's kind of when we expect DraftKings to be profitable. So it's really not that big of a deal. It's definitely a blow short term, but you know, we have some other cool things to look forward to this year regarding other states legalizing sports betting, and also DraftKings going live in some other states. So it'll be okay. And speaking of New York, New York actually eclipsed the 1 billion mark in mobile sports betting handle in its first 16 days of operation in January, which kind of tells you how huge of a market New York is so far for sports betting, which I've said this numerous times. Even though New York has crazy taxes, I get it. I still think that DraftKings is going to be profitable in that state. I really do, because New York is like the biggest city in the entire United States, and New York itself is just a huge state, and there's just a huge thirst, a huge want for sports betting out there. And so the demand is the word I'm looking for. There's a huge demand for sports betting out there, and the numbers are kind of speaking for themselves. You know, New York just launched like a few weeks ago, and they've been rolling. People have been filling up the lines and sports betting like crazy up there, and that's really, really good for the company. Now, in terms of price action, let me just go ahead and pull the chart up. So I actually did recently buy some more DraftKings. Most of you guys know I started buying DraftKings at $40 a share, so I'm definitely down on this position, but I'm not worried about it at all because I'm in this for the long term. This is a company that I strongly, strongly believe in, and if that investment doesn't work out, then so be it, but I really think that it will work out. And so I wanted to wait. I wanted to show some patience, so I actually stopped buying DraftKings. When DraftKings first started going down, I started to buy a little bit more, but once it just became a falling knife and kept tanking, I said, okay, I'm just going to wait and wait and wait. And then it got to a level that I really, really like. So if we go right here to the 3-month chart, DraftKings went as low as $18 at one point. Let me go ahead and actually go to the 1 month, maybe the 5-day. Let's go to the 5-day. Yeah, if you go to the 5-day, here we go. So if you go to the 5-day chart, DraftKings went as low as $17, and I actually did pick up some shares at around the $17, $18 range. And then right after I picked up those shares, Morgan Stanley, I think that's who came out with it. Yeah, I think it was Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley came out with this article that said that they see a 60% upside for DraftKings, and from there, the stock just pretty much shot to the moon. You know, it was up like 18% in one day. So I don't know if this is the bottom. It could be, but you know, I think it depends on how market sentiment goes. Obviously, the stock market overall is very, very negative, and it's just absolutely punishing growth stocks and companies that are unprofitable. So it's very possible that DraftKings could go back to the $17 range and even go lower. And so if you're a long-term investor like me, I would just be very careful on where you would buy. But at the same time, I also do think that this $20 level, the $17 level is a good range to buy. I mean, obviously, it could go lower, but if you look at the future prospects of what DraftKings can potentially become, I think that you're getting this company for a very cheap price at this current price. That's honestly what I think. I mean, I really do think that DraftKings could 4 or 5x in the next 4 to 5 years, especially when they start becoming profitable. I've said this from the beginning. I think that DraftKings is the best sports betting company. I think their management is excellent. I think their business model has absolutely nailed it. I love the promotion. I love the commercials with that girl that they have in there every time. I mean, I love everything about this company. And so I don't want this video to be too long, but that's your DraftKings update for today. So thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.